the place that feels safest, is silently killing your greatness. Comfort whispers lies while your potential cries out for more. Every time you choose ease over effort, you trade growth for regret. The life you want is hiding behind everything you're afraid to feel. Comfort is a silent killer. It doesn't announce its presence. It doesn't storm into your life. It seeps in, quietly, gently, without resistance. It comes in the form of the familiar. The couch that holds you a little too long. The snooze button that tempts you every morning. The routine that requires no thought, no stretch, no discomfort. It doesn't feel dangerous. It feels safe. And that's what makes it so lethal. Because while you sit in comfort, your potential slowly decays. Your dreams lose their urgency. Your fire begins to dim. You don't notice it at first. It's subtle. One missed opportunity, one delayed decision, one postponed goal. But over time, these small choices accumulate. And one day you look up and realize, nothing's changed. You're still in the same place, same habits, same excuses. And worst of all, the same dissatisfaction. Comfort lulls you into a state of quiet regret. It seduces you into thinking you've earned rest when you haven't earned progress. It tells you to take it easy, to slow down, to play it safe, even when your soul is begging you to move, to rise, to evolve. The truth is, comfort doesn't want what's best for you. It wants what's easiest. And there is a massive difference between what's easy and what's right. What's easy is skipping the gym. What's right is showing up tired and still pushing through. What's easy is watching another episode. What's right is building something that matters. What's easy is staying quiet. What's right is speaking your truth, even when your voice shakes. Comfort disguises itself as self-care, but often it's just self-sabotage in disguise. Every great thing you want lives on the other side of discomfort. Your goals, your confidence, your growth, your transformation, they're not found in the warmth of safety. They're found in the fire of struggle, in the sweat of effort, in the sting of failure and the rise after it. But comfort tells you those things are too risky, too painful, too uncertain. It tells you to wait. Wait until you're ready. Wait until it feels right. Wait until you're not afraid. And so you wait and wait and wait, until waiting becomes a lifestyle, until waiting becomes your identity. Meanwhile, life doesn't wait. Time doesn't pause. Opportunity doesn't knock forever. And while you're wrapped in the false security of comfort, life is passing you by. Your potential doesn't die in one day. It dies slowly in moments of hesitation, in minutes of avoidance, in days of convenience. And the saddest part, you often don't realize it until it's too late, until the chances are gone, until the energy is gone, until the hunger is replaced by regret. The most dangerous place to be is not at rock bottom. It's not in failure, it's not in pain. It's in the middle, where you're not unhappy enough to change but not fulfilled enough to thrive. That lukewarm space where comfort lives. That's where dreams go to die. That's where purpose gets buried under daily distractions. That's where the future is silently stolen, one easy choice at a time. So if you want to live a life that means something, if you want to feel alive, inspired, driven, you have to get uncomfortable. You have to leave the couch. You have to beat the snooze. You have to do things before you're ready. You have to run toward the hard things, not away from them. Because that's where your life begins. Not in the calm, but in the storm. Not in safety, but in struggle. Not in comfort, but in courage. Choose discomfort. Choose the path that forces you to rise. Because if you keep choosing comfort, you're choosing the slow death of everything you could have become. Every breakthrough in life has been the result of stepping into the arena of discomfort. There is no magic formula or shortcut to success that bypasses the challenges along the way. Rather, true growth demands that you face pressure head on. When you confront adversity, you're not just testing your limits. You're pushing them further, discovering reservoirs of strength and resilience that you never knew existed. It is in these moments of struggle that you learn the skills and gain the experience necessary to evolve into a more capable, confident, and determined version of yourself. Imagine a time when you encountered a challenge that seemed insurmountable. Perhaps it was a project that overwhelmed you, a personal goal that felt out of reach, or even an unexpected setback that threatened your plans. Those moments of hardship are not there to break you, but to build you up. They force you to innovate, to problem solve, and to adapt in ways that comfort never could. With each obstacle that you overcome, you not only achieve the immediate goal at hand, but also develop a mental toughness that prepares you for future challenges. This cumulative process transforms the discomfort of today into the strength of tomorrow. The irony is that while ease and convenience might feel pleasant at the moment, they often lure you into a false sense of security. In that comfort zone, nothing truly changes. The status quo remains unchallenged, and the habits that define your routine become a barrier to the extraordinary potential that lies within you. When you choose to embrace discomfort, on the other hand, you ignite a spark of transformation. It is when you face the inevitable pain of stretching yourself beyond your limits that you begin to see real progress. Every setback then becomes an opportunity to learn, and every failure acts as a stepping stone towards success. True strength is not born from moments of ease. It is forged in the crucible of challenge and pressure. It is when the conditions are harsh and unforgiving that you are compelled to dig deep and find out what you are really made of. This process is akin to the refining of precious metal. It is only through the application of intense heat that impurities are burned away, leaving behind something much stronger and more resilient. Every time you push through a difficult moment, you strip away a little more of your limitations, replacing them with a newfound resolve and clarity of purpose. In essence, discomfort serves as a catalyst for transformation, forcing you to transform potential energy into kinetic energy, propelling you toward the realization of your dreams. There is a paradox at play. Although discomfort can feel overwhelmingly difficult in the moment, it is the very thing that lays the foundation for lasting change. Without it, you remain stagnant, continuously circling the same familiar patterns, never venturing far enough to spark meaningful progress. Conversely, every time you confront and embrace the inevitable discomfort, you open yourself up to a world of possibilities. The very challenges you once shayed away from become the benchmarks for your accomplishments, each victory a testament to the power of persistence and determination. Accepting that growth lives in discomfort is a radical act of self-belief. It means understanding that every struggle, every grueling moment of resistance, is actually an invitation to rise above your current state of being. It is a choice to prioritize long-term gains over temporary ease, to invest in the rigor of self-improvement rather than settle for familiar mediocrity. True growth is not achieved by avoiding pain, but by welcoming it as an essential part of the journey to excellence. As you continuously push your limits, you become ever more adept at handling life's uncertainties, gaining confidence and wisdom in the process. Every breakthrough you experience is a direct result of the challenges you face and overcome. The discomfort you endure today paves the way for the successes of tomorrow. Embrace each moment of pressure as an opportunity to forge true strength, and you'll find that growth not only lives in discomfort, it thrives there. Comfort has a way of creeping in quietly, wearing the disguise of rest, ease, and safety. At first it feels harmless, even deserved. You tell yourself, just one day off, and it feels like a reasonable decision. You've been working hard, you're tired, you just need a break. But that one day turns into a few, then a week, then a month. Before you realize what's happening, your momentum is gone, your discipline is slipping, and your fire has faded to a flicker. Comfort doesn't snatch your dreams away. It slowly disarms you while you're not paying attention. That's the trick. It doesn't feel dangerous. It feels cozy. It gives you logical reasons to stop trying so hard. You've earned this. You're doing fine. There's always tomorrow. And while it says these things, your hunger begins to dull. That edge you once had, the one that kept you up late grinding and rising early with a purpose, begins to soften. You lose sight of the urgency, the drive, the passion, not because you're lazy but because comfort has seduced you into lowering your standards without realizing it. It silences ambition slowly. One skipped task, one missed workout, one goal pushed to next week. It seems small at the time, but those little moments compound. Discipline weakens and procrastination becomes routine. The dreams that once felt vivid and close begin to blur, not because they're out of reach, but because you've stopped chasing them with the same intensity. You still talk about them, still want them, but you're no longer taking the kind of bold, consistent action required to make them real. And that's exactly how comfort works. It convinces you to settle quietly, to stop fighting, to coast. Comfort is not peace, it's a slow fade, a subtle decay. You're not resting, you're retreating. And that's the dangerous part. When life feels okay, there's no alarm bell to snap you out of it. There's no immediate consequence, just a slow drift into mediocrity. And by the time you wake up, you've lost months, maybe years, thinking you were just taking it easy. This isn't to say that rest isn't important. Recovery is essential, but rest and comfort are not the same. Rest is intentional. Comfort is seductive. Rest is earned and purposeful. Comfort is passive and addictive. When you rest with purpose, you recharge. But when you stay in comfort too long, you rot. The body becomes soft, the mind grows dull, the soul forgets what it came here to do. You have to recognize when comfort is stealing from you, when it's convincing you that staying where you are is better than the discomfort of growth. You must learn to feel that internal shift, that moment when you know deep down you're no longer pushing yourself, that moment when you're making excuses instead of progress, when you stop feeling stretched, when your days feel repetitive and uninspired. That's not balance, that's stagnation. If you want to live a life of greatness, you have to fight for it. You have to resist the lure of comfort and replace it with purpose. Wake up with clarity, show up with consistency. Do the hard things even when no one's watching, especially when no one's watching. Reignite the fire by doing what you said you'd do, by keeping promises to yourself. That's how you get your edge back. That's how you silence the voice of comfort. Because while comfort feels safe in the moment, it costs you everything in the long run. Your future depends on your ability to stay sharp, stay hungry, and stay committed, even when ease is begging you to slow down. The world doesn't reward the comfortable. It rewards the relentless. The ones who keep going. The ones who do the work even when they don't feel like it. Don't let comfort steal your future. Recognize its voice. And when it whispers to take a day off, to slow down, to settle, choose purpose instead. Choose movement. Choose fire. False logic often shows up wearing the mask of practicality. It sounds reasonable, even responsible. You tell yourself, no's not the right time. Or, I'll start once things settle down. Or, I just need to be realistic. These words feel intelligent, grounded, and rational. But if you peel back the surface, what you often find underneath isn't logic at all. It's fear, carefully dressed, polished, justified, but still fear. We convince ourselves that we're being strategic when we're really just stalling. We use planning as a substitute for action. We create endless scenarios in our minds, what-ifs and worst-case outcomes, that keep us frozen in place. We call it thinking things through, but it's actually fear doing everything it can to stop us from stepping into the unknown. We've become masters at disguising hesitation as wisdom, when the truth is we're just afraid of failure, rejection, discomfort, or change. The not now mindset is one of the most dangerous traps there is. It gives you permission to delay your growth. It whispers to you, you'll be more ready tomorrow, but tomorrow never really comes. You stay in the same spot, making small moves that feel productive, but never actually move you forward. You rearrange your to-do list, you research more, you wait for the perfect conditions, the perfect timing, the perfect feeling. But perfection is the lie that fear hides behind. The people who achieve extraordinary things aren't the ones who had everything figured out before they began. They're the ones who moved forward despite the uncertainty. They didn't let false logic stop them. They knew fear would always find a reason to delay, to protect, to shrink. But they didn't negotiate with it. They acted. They understood that clarity comes through motion, not overthinking. That breakthrough comes after bold steps, not careful waiting. False logic will tell you that playing it safe is the smart choice. That staying where you are is more responsible than risking failure. But safety, when it comes from fear, isn't safety at all. It's self-sabotage. It's a slow erosion of your potential. Every time you choose to wait, to pause, to hold back when you know you're being called to more, you're trading purpose for comfort. You're letting fear win by calling it reason. And the tricky part, no one around you questions it. Because society praises being realistic, people applaud caution. But realistic often just means settling. It means choosing a life you can control rather than one that will challenge and grow you. And deep down you know it. That's why you feel uneasy even while doing what everyone else says is smart. That inner conflict, that's your soul reminding you that you were made for more. Growth doesn't wait for perfect logic. It demands courage. It demands that you step even when your voice shakes. It asks you to make decisions not based on comfort or fear, but on conviction and purpose. Because the truth is, you already know what you need to do. You've known for a while. The ideas, the dreams, the goals, they've been calling you. But you've wrapped them in layers of excuses that sound rational. You've delayed. You've doubted. You've told yourself stories that made fear feel like wisdom. But you're not here to play small. You're not here to be ruled by disguised fear. You're here to rise, to move, to disrupt your own comfort, to say yes to your calling even when you feel unprepared. You don't need more time. You need more trust. Trust in your ability to figure it out. Trust in the process of growth. Trust that you'll become stronger by doing, not by waiting. False logic is just fear with a suit and tie. It sounds professional, but it's still stopping you. It's time to stop letting those quiet, convincing lies run your life. Rip the mask off, call it what it is, and then move anyway. Because your destiny is not waiting for your logic. It's waiting for your leap. The comfort zone is a beautifully disguised cage. On the surface, it feels safe, predictable, and easy. It wraps around you like a warm blanket, reassuring you that you don't need to take risks, that you don't need to stretch, that where you are is good enough. And maybe it is for now. But the truth is, that same comfort, that same sense of security slowly robs you of growth. It shelters you from failure, but it also blocks you from transformation. It keeps you from pain, but it also keeps you from purpose. You see, the comfort zone is clever. It convinces you that staying still is safer than trying. It makes fear sound reasonable and ambition seem risky. It whispers, why put yourself out there? Why take that leap? Why make yourself vulnerable? So you don't. You stay, you settle. You shrink. All the while the days pass, the opportunities fade, and your potential rusts quietly in the background. And what's most dangerous about this cage is that you don't see the bars. Because you're not in pain, you're not struggling, you're just comfortable, and comfort doesn't scream, it numbs. It dulls your hunger, it silences your dreams. It doesn't take your life away in one blow. It takes it away one unchallenged day at a time. That's the cost: regret. Regret for the things you could have done, the person you could have become, the life you could have built, if only you had dared to step out. Inside the comfort zone, everything is familiar. You know the routine, you know the expectations. You know how to survive. But life wasn't meant to be survived. It was meant to be lived. And real living starts at the edge of discomfort. It begins when you choose uncertainty over predictability. It takes root when you say yes to something that scares you. That's where growth lives. That's where change begins. Staying in the comfort zone keeps you from failing, but it also keeps you from learning. Failure is not the enemy, it's the teacher. Every time you fall, you gain experience. Every time you stumble, you gain wisdom. Every time you break, you come back stronger. But when you're too comfortable to risk failing, you also block yourself from those very lessons. You stagnate. You repeat the same patterns, the same choices, the same outcomes. And while you think you're protecting yourself, you're actually limiting yourself, because you were built for more than routine. You were made to evolve, to push boundaries, to chase purpose, to explore what's possible. But that journey demands that you leave the cage, that you step into the unknown, that you allow yourself to be uncomfortable, uncertain, even afraid, because that's where the transformation happens. Think about the people you admire, the innovators, the creators, the ones who seem to be living fully. None of them stayed in the comfort zone. They faced rejection. They risked embarrassment. They endured criticism. They fought through fear. But they also discovered their strength, their resilience, and their power along the way. They grew because they left the cage. And you can too. You don't need to take massive leaps right away. You just need to move, push one boundary, break one routine, say yes to one thing that makes you nervous. That small step creates momentum. That momentum builds courage. And that courage opens the door to a whole new life. The comfort zone will always try to pull you back. It will always try to convince you that staying safe is better than chasing more. But deep down you know better. You know there's something waiting for you outside of the routine, beyond the walls you've built. Something more fulfilling, more exciting, more alive. Don't let disguised safety rob you of becoming. Don't let comfort turn into a slow death of potential. You weren't born to stay in a cage. You were born to fly. And every day you stay where it's safe, you trade possibility for regret. Choose discomfort, choose growth, choose freedom. Your fire was never meant to keep you warm. It wasn't placed inside you so you could sit still. Stay safe and simply survive. That fire, that burning desire, that restless energy, that hunger in your gut isn't about comfort. It's about movement. It's about evolution. It's about rising, expanding, breaking through the limitations that life and fear have placed around you. That inner flame was meant to light the way through darkness, to ignite courage when doubt creeps in, and to fuel the kind of transformation that leaves you unrecognizable to your old self. But somewhere along the way, many start using their fire the wrong way. They try to use it to stay cozy, to protect themselves from discomfort, to justify staying still. They smother it with fear, smother it with logic, smother it with excuses like, "I'm not ready. It's not the right time. Maybe later." They think they're preserving themselves, but in reality, they're extinguishing the very force that was meant to free them. That inner burn you feel when you think about your dream, your purpose, your calling. That's not meant to be ignored. That's not a coincidence. That's your soul reminding you of what you're capable of. It's not anxiety. It's not confusion. It's a signal, a push, a divine alarm clock going off inside you saying, "Wake up, there's more." The fire in you is wild by nature. It's not supposed to be contained. It's not meant to be comfortable. True fire doesn't flicker politely in the corner. It blazes, it consumes, it transforms. If you've been feeling unfulfilled, uninspired, or stuck, it's probably because you've been misusing your fire. You've been using it to create a safe, small life when it was given to you to build a meaningful, expansive one. And make no mistake, your fire is powerful. But power unused is power lost. If you don't use it, it fades, it grows dim. Not because it's gone, but because you've turned your back on it. Every time you say no to a challenge you're meant to face, every time you delay a decision you know in your heart you need to make, every time you betray your potential for the illusion of comfort, your fire dims just a little. But the beautiful truth is it's never too late to reignite it. One bold action, one honest decision, one step in the direction of your truth. That's all it takes to remind yourself who you are. That flame inside you is resilient. It's waiting. It doesn't need your perfection, it needs your permission. The courage to say, I may not have all the answers, but I'm not going to sit here and waste this life. Because life is short. And while comfort might offer you short-term relief, it can never offer you long-term fulfillment. Only growth can do that. Only stepping into the unknown led by your fire can give you the life you were truly meant to live. You weren't born to play small. You weren't born to hide. You were born to rise, to shine, to burn so brightly that others are lit by your example. Let your fire drive you to places you've never been. Let it push you into rooms where you feel unprepared, because that's where you grow. Let it whisper truth when your mind is full of fear. Let it burn away everything that no longer serves you, old beliefs, toxic habits, worn-out narratives that say you're not enough. Your fire is not your comfort. It is your calling, and it is not here to keep you warm. It is here to set you free. Free from fear, free from doubt, free from the small version of yourself you've been told to accept. So don't fear the burn. Become it. Let it lead you into the life that's waiting for you, bold, bright, and fully alive. What feels safe is often what's silently killing you. Comfort doesn't care about your dreams. It only wants you to stay the same. Every time you choose ease over effort, every time you justify staying still with logical fear, you trade your future for familiarity. But growth never happens in that space. Growth demands discomfort. It requires you to leave the couch, silence the excuses, and face the resistance that builds strength. Your potential is being stolen one quiet day at a time, not by failure but by inaction. And the truth is, your fire was never meant to keep you warm. It was meant to set you free. That inner burn was placed in you for a reason. To push you, to pull you, to transform you. So stop waiting. Stop delaying. Stop convincing yourself it's not the right time. The right time is the moment you decide to reclaim your fire. You're not here to play it safe. You're here to burn.